Hey guys, I'm Jeff from the Track Shack.
I'm Alex, Resolute Running. You know, today we're in a slightly different location. We were going to be shooting this episode inside, but we looked outside and it's absolutely gorgeous. So we moved the party outside.
Yeah, man.
So
It's a great idea.
I think so. Got coffee, Jeff's got some water.
Yeah.
So if you hear some traffic sounds and things like that, that's why. And it's also an indication of fall is finally coming to Alabama, you know?
Thankfully.
Right? I actually saw a meme that said, it's fall in Alabama. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. It's still 90 degrees.
Exactly.
We're starting to get a little bit of a break. And when you have a break in the weather in the fall, that also means it's the start of fall racing season.
Yep.
So today we're going to talk about racing fall marathons. You guys have worked all summer, you've been training all summer, you've been sweating your butt off, you know, you've done the workouts, you've done the mileage, race day is almost here. What's next?
Yep.
So we're going to talk about a couple things, you know, and I'm going to start and then we'll just go back and forth. But first and foremost, people always ask, I'm at the start line for my marathon, should I do a warm-up? Do you do a warm-up?
I used to, and the older I get, the more I probably should warm up, but the less I warm up, which makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, I think because of a couple of injuries and things like that, I think I'm going to start warming up again.
A little bit more?
Yep.
Well, the recommendation we give to people is the faster you are, the little bit more of a warm-up you should be doing.
Yep.
So if you're going to be attempting a sub-3 marathon or maybe even sub-3:15, you probably should do a 10-minute easy jog and some dynamic stretching. If you're more in that 3:45, 3:30, somewhere in there, you maybe don't even need the jog, maybe just the dynamic stretching. If you're that 4, 5, 6 hour marathoner, you're going to warm up on the run. So I wouldn't even bother with that. And that seems to hold true for most people.
So basically, if you're getting at it at the gun, you need to warm up.
Absolutely. Which is also a very good segue into don't get it at the gun if you don't have to, you know? Miles 1 through 7 of your marathon, what's your strategy?
Well, so for me, like when I ran Chattanooga in 2014, I basically tried to figure out a pace that I felt that I could run the entire marathon. So just that easy, less than threshold pace where I wasn't going to be going after it right away because I didn't have the mileage to run a solid pace throughout. So I really wanted to work myself into the race, basically. So
Find your groove.
Yeah. So I started really easy and progressively increased my pace as I went along.
Jeff nailed it. And there's a lot of physiological reasons for that as well. It's you don't want to start tapping into your glycogen stores in your muscles, in your blood, and so you start off easy and relaxed. You know, if your goal, let's say you're running a 4-hour flat marathon, which is what, a 9:09. I would say maybe you're running a 9:15, 9:20 pace in those first 10K. Ease into that 9:09 by the time you hit your 10K. Find your groove. So miles 7 through 17, somewhere in there, you're just cooking. You get out to 20, now the race has really begun. If you've been wise in that first 10K in the first middle section, the second middle section, you'll have some energy at the end.
Yep.
Instead of fading off and dying.
Yep.
Right?
And as the saying goes, I mean, the race doesn't start till that last 10K really. So you definitely don't want to go into that last 10K just totally out of it.
Absolutely. Start conservatively. If it feels like you're going too slow, slow down a little bit more. That's the way to do it. And then the last thing we want to talk about is a little bit of nutrition. I think too many people make the mistake of not taking anything in until it's too late.
Yep.
And that includes hydration as well. You know, people wait till they're 15 miles into the race before they start drinking any water or Powerade or Gatorade, and that's a mistake.
Yeah.
You know? So what's your thing? What do you do?
My preparation is to eat a little bit early.
Yep.
You know, so I'll eat a couple hours before, just something real light, peanut butter bagel or something like that. Goo's philosophy, I'm gonna get my shirt on today. Goo's philosophy is to take their product about 15 minutes before, and then every 45 after. So.
Which I think works.
Yep.
And it seems like too much, but it's long distance running is an eating and drinking game.
Yep.
And you need the calories to get to the end.
Totally.
All right, guys, so get out and enjoy this beautiful weather. I know we kind of rushed through that very quickly, but there's a ton of tips out there. I think those tips are pretty accurate though, and if you'll do that on race day, you'll have a good race day.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, until next week, we'll take care.